Sue, how? Sue, how?
Hello, Ed. It's a fancy seeing you here. Well, we had a lot of fun with you at Summer Game Fest revealing the first gameplay of.
Okay, how's this? If Suhao is a cameo, I will buy the game at launch.
Crazier. So what did you bring to Gamescom?
We brought another, probably our craziest trailer of all. You know,
craziest yet? The last one was really good.
Summer Game Fest.
I don't know how they're going to top it.
I believe the reaction people having to the game, and they've actually gotten
the Evo trailer, I think, is probably my favorite Mortal Kombat trailer ever.
Crazy stuff people have come up with.
In terms of the context of watching it, just it being the most exciting.
But this trailer.
Yeah, the Reptile one. That's what I'm talking about. The Evo one. That's going to be really hard to beat.
Just how insane things get with
it had Reptile, Astra, and Havoc, and Serena. How are they going to top that? I turned it up a bit.
Here it is, Mortal Kombat 1, the brand new trailer.
I think this is the final trailer in terms of showing off new characters, because wouldn't this complete the roster if they show 2 more? Shao Kahn. Normal mouth Melina?
General Shao.
Shao Kahn. I know he's not Kahn anymore. I'm going to keep saying Shao Kahn, though, because I'm used to saying that. Sindel? Dude, he doesn't have a hammer anymore. He has an axe. Oh, the effect? He dropped the axe. Is that just an animation for a string, or does he have a Sam Show mechanic where he can fight unarmed?
Did not your illustrious father teach you that war is the last resort? Do not forget that, General.
Sindel good or bad in this one? Oh, Sindel has a flight. The hair whip projectile. Hey, we saw Motaro assist. Motaro is a teleport? New stage also. Motaro grab. Sindel was actually visible in the last trailer. I saw it when I was rewatching it. I rewatched the last one so many times. Not the trailer, but I mean the combat cast. They were on this stage, and for one of the fatal blows or whatever, you could see Sindel sitting down.
He has earned his place by embodying the very best qualities of Earthrealm's people.
They haven't shown really anything about Raiden.
Majesty, whom shall I face?
Whom or who?
We will destroy your champion, Liu Kang. He will taste no victory.
Shao Kahn looks scary. See, look. I think he can actually go unarmed mode and then summon the axe again. He's like a Sam Show character. Who is that? Was that a Shujinko? That's Shujinko? Oh, that's a great fatal. He had the best X-ray in Mortal Kombat X for kind of a similar reason. Takes you up to the sky. A reflect. Motaro has a reflect. Whoa. Sindel's hair got frizzy. That one was unexpected. Yeah, that one actually was unexpected. Sindel, don't. That's your husband that you love, I think, depending on which retcon we're going with.
Who's your queen?
Well, he can't answer you now. Okay, so let's rewatch the trailer, this time paying a bit more attention to the gameplay.
Both alien and intoxicating to Earthrealmers. All our realms are at peace. There are Outworlders who would prefer us to be at war. General Shao.
So again, we see the axe.
Conqueror of the Quatan Plain.
I like the horns.
All All of Outworld is grateful for his service.
Sindel looks a lot younger in this continuity. Normally she's a lot older looking compared to Katana. That's a new stage, by the way. We haven't seen that one yet. That must have been his down 2, right? Oh, I like how it makes sparks on the ground as he's doing it. That seems a bit extra to be a down 2. Maybe it is a down 2, right? Because he's going to have a down 2 without the weapon, right? Would he have an unarmed down 2 and an armed down 2? Maybe. It depends how much more limited his moveset is with or without the axe. If it is a Sam Show thing, then in theory his moveset would be limited unarmed, but I think they really want you to play him a lot without the axe, right? It might be more of a 50-50 thing. 50% of the time you're playing him with the axe and 50% of the time not with the axe, in which you can threaten to summon the axe back in case it has a hitbox as it returns to you. Air combo. Interesting way to end that. I bet he has some good overheads. That looks like an overhead, but it's probably something that can only come out after doing the first part of that string. I love the effect, though. This one. I love that effect. Kind of reminds me of the effect that was going on with Baraka. Instead of it just being a single color. So is that the move that made him drop the axe? It is. So that move is a pop-up, which puts you into unarmed stance. Not really a stance, unarmed mode. And it looked as if he did maybe like a back 1-2. I'm just guessing what the buttons would be, right? Like a back 1-2, back 2-1. Into a command grab? Doesn't this look like a grab? But the grab throws them into the axe, right? So what would happen if you do the grab away from the axe? It might not do that. But it seems tricky to program. It seems tricky to program it to have it detect if you're close enough to the axe to get this. So, maybe this is a string that you can only do after this move that puts the axe down, right? I mean, that's definitely just a special move or something, and then he's going into his string. This isn't all one big string, right? So I'm just wondering what happens if you do this string into this grab away from the axe. Because, yeah, like I said, if you're close, you can get him to hit the axe like so. And if you're far away, it could just throw them on the ground. But what if you're sort of close to it and it would have them clip into it slightly, right? Kind of feels like a nightmare to program. If the axe isn't there, he sets them down gently and tucks them into bed and reads them a bedtime story.
You would consign us to endless war.
Better that than be Liu Kang's lapdog.
I think it's funny they're arguing. I think their dynamic might be unhappily married. I think that might be the dynamic this time.
Did not your illustrious
They voluntarily married, but they are unhappily married.
is the last resort. Do not
Look at them hit the ground like that.
the last resort.
It did a scorpion.
Do not forget that,
Unrelated to the character Scorpion.
General.
So, that looked as if it should be a move that launches, but it didn't launch. Yeah. Sindel and Shao, it's just, babe, it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m., time to get fatal blowed. I don't think we get to see her full costume in any of these cutscenes. We only get to see it in gameplay. I don't think it's bad. I still like her costume from MKX the most, I think. Yeah, that looks as if it should be a launcher, but it's not. Maybe you could choose to have it launch if you hold down the button or something. It leads into the dive kick. Maybe you have a couple of options from that. Maybe you could choose to not do the dive kick, and then you could go for a reset when you land. Or you could do this for a combo. That's a pop-up. Some kind of string with the hair. Maybe that's a string, maybe that's a special. The flip kick. The flight stance. So Shao Kahn has some kind of full screen question mark low. I wonder if you could pair that with some kind of assist. To create some kind of unblockable setup. Some kind of string that pushes them really far away. The projectile. Motaro teleport. What's funny is it teleported you, it looks as if it teleported her really far behind Shao Kahn, which wouldn't be very good. But I think it teleported her to right beside where he was. And Shao Kahn happened to be using a move that moves him forward, right? So that's why it seems as if Motaro teleported you super far away from where you want to be. Is that the same launcher move that we saw earlier from Shao Kahn? It is. That's a lot of recovery. I don't know if that's a down two because it moves him forward. Cool throw animation. So that is a summon assist. That's weird. Because this looks to be his combo filler. So what happens here? It's a summon assist. Well, it's a summon assist, but I don't think it becomes active until after you leave the summon animation. So you are able to do stuff like this. She's launching him into the hit. You think Motaro was actually waiting for a launcher? Do you think there could be an assist that actually reacts to something that you do? Or do you think that the player in this clip just timed it? That looks like a very committal button also. Look at that. Because it launches them and she keeps falling. So she must recover in time. There's a second hit. Yeah, so Motaro shoots 2 projectiles in the airspace. It seems kind of situational. I feel as if that might only be good for combos, considering it's a summon. You can't really just throw it out in neutral to cover the air. You bet you can cancel it into her float. Maybe. Assuming I'm thinking of the right move. Air string. Oh, what the heck? Was that a third? I think that's tracking. I don't think that's just an airborne projectile. When I say airborne, I mean one that travels horizontally in the space at which you jump, right? Going over someone's head if they're standing still. Look, he attacks a third time. And I think it actually tracks. Because it arced down a little bit, or angled down a little bit, and you continue the juggle. That's a lot of corner carry as well. And hitting an airborne opponent with that seems to be a restand. With the Banshee Scream. Yeah, that's a full-on restand. Look, she walked up and got a grab, but I think you could have actually hit them there. Yeah, I think he's still in the stun state here. His projectile always had that trajectory, though. You think it's always that angle on the third hit or something? Or maybe they were always that angle. Maybe they were all at an angle, but because she was so close to the opponent, it was just hitting them as soon as it became active. It's right here. Yeah, see, it's possible that these projectiles are also angled. It's kind of hard to tell because there's not much time for it to go lower. Yeah, uninterestingly, it might just be that angle all the time. That means from full screen, you would have to block it, but if you're right in front of them, it would go over their head. So yeah, that doesn't seem like a very useful assist in neutral. That is something you would want to do in combos that you have actually labbed. But apparently, it looks as if you can get really good corner carry from it. Yeah, I think you could get a full combo from that after that restand. She just goes for the throw instead. Why is she sitting like she's about to read me a bedtime story? Yeah, see, you could see Sindel sitting on this chair on this stage. If you go back and watch the combat cast, it's kind of funny how they are specifically avoiding the left side of the stage, but then they seemingly accidentally show Sindel during a fatal blow or something like that. Yeah, see, there's Tanya. That's her hair. All the other Umgadi people are wearing the same stuff, like I was saying. Wait, late husband. When she says late husband, is she talking about King whatever? The guy who's trapped in Ermac? Or is she talking about Shao Kahn? And she frames his death. Or she divorces him. You wouldn't say late husband if you divorce him. You would only say that if he's dead or presumed dead. Yep, that's what she's saying. There's Kenshi. Looks as if Kenshi, Johnny, Kung Lao, Raiden, and Liu Kang are the main cast that you start with, the main party, as you are leaving Earthrealm. So weird saying normal mouth Molina. Keeps freaking me out.
To continue the tournament that he founded with Lord Liu Kang.
Empress Sindel.
Let us meet your champion.
Earthrealm's champion is Raiden, Your Majesty.
So weird that he's the champion now.
Is it me, or is Earthrealm's champion scrawnier than you?
It's weird that Goro isn't the Outworld champion, right? I think Earthrealm's champion just has to straight up fight Shao, General Shao. But if he's a general, why would he be the guy they pick for a tournament, right? We don't know yet. We don't know why that would be the case. He looks freaky.
He has earned his place by embodying the very best qualities of Earthrealm's people.
I'm so interested in seeing Raiden's gameplay because they haven't really shown any of it before now.
Majesty,
He's always just getting beaten up by people.
whom shall I face?
So I want to analyze the Raiden stuff here. Generally a general. Well, Shao Kahn is a Khan, right? Khan is a title. I don't remember what that actually is comparable to, if it's comparable to a general or something else. But what I'm saying is normally in the stories, when you have to elect someone to represent Earthrealm, they would fight Goro, right? But Goro doesn't really seem to be present in this story since he's just a cameo. I can't tell what the heck is going on here. It's a kick into a special cancel, which is a teleport, which automatically goes into a hit, which he then combos into that, which sends them far away. And okay, he does the teleport. That was just a regular teleport because he does grab afterwards. Is that a regular grab? Maybe he meter burned it or something. That seems kind of extra to be a grab. In fact, I wonder if you can combo off of that. Because it almost looks deliberate that the opponent is staying suspended for that long after a regular throw. But you have your pun? Okay. I didn't even recognize it until you pointed that out. I just thought it was a repetitive word choice.
We will destroy your champion, Liu Kang. He will taste no victory.
Yeah, they really don't show much of Raiden at all. They just showed that he had a teleport, but that's always the case, right? So still waiting on the Raiden combat cast overview. This is when we see some more strings from Shao Kahn. Yeah, then he goes into the unarmed punching. Into the knee launcher. That looks... Is that the command grab again? No, that's not a grab. That flips you on the other side? Weird. So he knocked him into the axe here, but he's just clipping into it because he's not doing any kind of move that makes him actually interact with it. Oh, that gives you Oki. Look at that. So they give you the option to side switch, so that way you can better control where the opponent is going to land at the end of the combo. And he put the opponent on the axe, so he could use this as Oki. See that? It seems to be a giant full screen unblockable, not unblockable, a giant full screen low. If that's unblockable, that's OP. You have to go into a pretty big animation for it, though. So I'm wondering if you are actually going to be plus enough. Maybe you have to mediate. Maybe if you mediate, you could be plus enough to go for a mix after making them block it on wake up. Unless it really isn't unblockable. That is not an overhead. You're kidding me. Bruh. Punch. Okay, we get to see some Raiden stuff. I'm finding it really hard to figure out what Raiden's gameplay actually is. He's getting hit by the sparks here. This might be similar to his reversal move in MKX. When I say reversal, I mean like his anti-air lightning. It would work against teleports that would teleport you into the air. The move in which Raiden puts his hands in the air and there's lightning arcing between his two hands. Because the hitbox of that was actually a little bit bigger than just the lightning visually appearing. So this looks to be maybe some kind of big AoE get off me thing. Because I think this is only comboing because he's at the range where he's getting hit by these parts. Interesting animation. Yeah, there's that, the anti-air hit grab. I like the animation for it. I said that before in a previous trailer. So, does Shujinko just straight up have the same axe attack as Shao Kahn? You guys are going to have to enlighten me because Shujinko is one of those characters I know pretty much nothing about. Is he a, being an old guy, is he kind of like a weapons master? And he just copies everyone's moves? Is that why he gets the axe? Also, I should pay attention a little bit better to what kind of fatal blow this is. Mimic specials. So, if you'll notice, he comes out and just punches Shao Kahn. So I'm wondering if he goes into the mimic move after landing a hit. Because what happens if you were to call out this assist and it whiffs? Would he still go into the axe? There are a lot of ways you could implement that as a cameo. Maybe even similar to the way in which I was describing a theoretical chameleon cameo, that one YouTube video I made. By the way, I recommend everybody go watch that because I'm really proud of that idea. And I want more people to hear me talk about it. What do I think of Shao? I think Shao is by far the most interesting character in this trailer because being a fan of Sam's show, I think it's cool that he can put the axe down and then combo you without the axe and then pull the axe back to threaten with it and use it for Oki. We've seen that string sort of. Oh, he combos into Fatal. It looks as if maybe using the Fatal Raw, it would have a decent hitbox, relatively speaking. Because it looks as if it's shooting out pretty far. I like Shujinko. Yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of his X-ray attack from MKX. The best one from MKX, in my opinion. We've seen that string a lot. Wow, he just straight up cancels it into the anti-air grab and it works. It works after that. Throughout the single-player mode, he gains a special move from everyone he comes across. Like, he gains Scorpion's Spear and Li Mei's Flip Kick. Yeah, so he's probably taking the move of whoever you're fighting. Which means he's definitely going to be a specialist cameo. Because it would obviously require more labbing than other ones. Okay, I was wondering if you could combo off of this. The last time he did this, didn't it shoot them really far away? Maybe you can meter burn it? Maybe he's meter burning it to get the pop-up close by, but I didn't notice any kind of meter burn effect, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's different if you combo into it against a grounded opponent. Maybe you get the pop-up because she was grounded when he did the attack, but maybe hitting an airborne opponent with the move ends the combo, right? That's a summon assist. Yeah, and that's, I think that's one of... He's fighting Sindel right now, right? That's the, kick we saw Sindel do earlier. Does he do the punch at first again? Yeah, he does. So, just using this as a combo ender, it probably doesn't matter which move he's doing because you just want to do damage in this case. But the part that's going to require a lot of labbing is trying to figure out how you can follow up each different type of assist he can do, each different type of mimic assist with a combo, right? Because I don't think it would be possible for Raiden to actually follow this up with a combo at all. It looks as if he's still in the summon animation. But maybe if you are in the corner and he's mimicking a different move, it's possible to keep them juggled long enough or something. Because I think it would be a complete waste to have a mimic character mimic moves without the different moves actually leading to different stuff, right? That would kind of defeat the whole purpose of a mimic character, because the point of a mimic character is that it's supposed to test your situational awareness and game knowledge. That's what makes mimic characters fun, right? For example, copying moves with Seth in Street Fighter requires you to know different routes based on different moves, right? So then you have to be familiar with all these different moves from the whole cast. Also, it's going to be interesting because every time they add a DLC character, they're going to have to go back and update Shujinko, kind of like Kirby from Smash Bros. So this is the Motaro Projectile Reflect, and this is also a summon, I think. Also, this projectile that Raiden is doing is actually kind of a reference to how the actual God of Thunder in Japanese mythology, Raiden, is depicted. So Raiden, or Raiden, is obviously based on Raiden from real-world mythology. And like I said, Raiden is often depicted with this. I don't even know what you would call it. Maybe people more knowledgeable about mythology would know, because I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just a fan of it. But Raiden is often depicted with this ring behind him. This ring at his back with these different nodes. And I think that is what this is trying to emulate here, which is kind of crazy because outside of the name, you never see any kind of similarities between Mortal Kombat Raiden and real-world mythology Raiden. So, I actually like that. Big fan of this. A character in Genshin Impact named Raiden Shogun that has this too. Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah, see there, the ring is complete. I paused it before it finished. I wonder if you can release this earlier, because I think the amount of projectiles he shoots is consistent with the amount of nodes, and so maybe you could charge it up just a little bit to shoot out one or two. I wonder how fast he recovers from that. It's hard to tell because he gets hit immediately. Blocked the fly. He's being a dummy and doing it raw. He's going to get punished for it. I really like Sindel's design when her hair goes all bad hair day. It almost makes me wish that this would be her normal design, right? But obviously, they want to have some kind of powered up state to look different. Is this only in the Fatal Blow, though? Kick. And here this is. Yeah. That one was so unexpected. Okay, what is this? I was saying during the Gamescom stream, talking to people on YouTube, you would have missed this because I watched the rest of Gamescom before coming back to look at the trailer frame by frame. I was saying that Sindel would be a character that I would be all over if she actually had actual command grabs with her hair, because so many of her moves entail her grabbing you with the hair that you would think it's a character I really like, but historically, hasn't she only had hit grabs, not command grabs, right? Haven't played every Mortal Kombat game, but hit grabs don't hit the same. Should have picked a better word choice there, but hit grabs just aren't as fun as command grabs, because when you do the hit grab and they block it, it just feels so lame because it makes you think, man, that should have been a command grab, right? Not talking from a balanced perspective, I'm just talking about a fun perspective right now. So if they gave Sindel a command grab, I would be super interested in her. But if all the grabs are hit grabs, then I think I'd rather play someone else. She's doing this after the cartwheel kick. Yeah. Launcher, air string. Staying in the air for a while. That slow-mo is just from depleting their HP, right? Yeah. So I think she only gets the big hair when she's doing a fatal blow or a fatality. I kind of wish this would be incorporated into her gameplay somewhat, because I think this looks really cool. Let's face it, I'm either playing Garrus or Shao. I'm interested in Havoc. I'm also interested in Havoc, because not only have I been super interested in the character for a while, but also, upon rewatching the trailer with Havoc in it, you can actually see he might have a command grab. He does a roll. It's near the end of the trailer. He does this command roll, and out of the roll, he grabs the opponent and vomits blood into their face. And it's really hard to tell in this game if something is a regular throw or a command grab, because the regular throw animations in this game are very elaborate. Right? So he could have just done a roll into a regular throw. But if Havoc has any kind of command grab, I'm probably automatically maining him. But if he doesn't have a command grab, it might be between... It's probably a toss-up between Havoc, Shao, or Garrus. I already like Shao Kahn, though, but him being able to do the whole Sam Show unarmed mode has me automatically way more interested in him. Which I'm really happy about, because he seemed really boring in MK11, but you know, who wasn't boring in MK11, right? I don't know why I'm rewatching this. Hair pie,
Who's your queen?
Question. Even though I know the answer is that NetherRealm does not care one bit about anatomy, fictional or real anatomy, wouldn't his horns be directly part of his skull? Just a question. Wouldn't his horns be coming out of the skull, considering the horns are made of bone? Or something similar? And she rips his skull out as if he's wearing the horns as a Halloween costume. You see that? Looking at this, his horns must have been barely attached to his head, because I think the only thing they were attached to is his scalp. And the horns look kind of heavy, so, he might have been barely holding on to those things. They're decorative, yeah. Maybe they're like a rhino horn, because rhino horns are made of hair, sort of. So maybe they're kind of like rhino horns, but they became so condensed that they started to look like bone horns. Let's go with that. That's the only way I can rationalize it. Yeah, I think she looks great like that. I kind of wish she could do that mid-game. Maybe they were afraid that having too much hair would cover up the silhouette and you wouldn't be able to see what's going on, and maybe it would hurt the readability, right? Is that all they show? Yeah. But, that's an exciting trailer. Pretty much just because of Shao Kahn. Really excited to see what his combos are like. Still kind of mixed on this game based on my sole impression, which was the stress test. I watched a lot of the pre-order beta, but I didn't play the pre-order beta. Still kind of mixed, right? I think my opinion of the game, I think the game's quality is going to entirely come down to what the rest of the cameos in the game do. I think that's more important than what the playable characters do in terms of how much longevity this game would have, for me personally. So, still kind of thinking maybe I'll wait for it to get crossplay or for it to get a price cut before I buy the game. But if I look up all the cameos and see some crazy cameo combos with Shao Kahn or Garrus or Havoc, I think I'm probably just going to get it at launch. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see all of you later. So, bye for now. That was the YouTube outro.